Hello, Uta here of Trans Widow, Uta Hagen YouTube channel and WordPress blog, utahagengrasswidow.wordpress.com, with my first daffodil bouquet. These were daffodils of the classic garden variety that had flopped over because the flower was too heavy for the stem, I guess. So I decided to pick them so I can show them to you here. And of course, we've got my constantly pleasing and surprising orchid, which is forming more buds and blooming again. This one bloom up top is the older one, and this one just opened. So I am really so appreciative of one of the elders in our midst, Catherine Robillard. And she always makes wonderful, apropos comments on my channel as well as over at Kelly J. Keen's and Graham Linehan's The Mess We're In, and Tulip R, Tulip with two L's, channel of detransitioner Richie Herron. And Catherine, I feel like I know you even though we've never met. And you wrote the most beautiful comment here, and I really want this community to be a community of supportive writers about that which we do to relieve ourselves from the stress of working to counter the lies of the cross-sex cult. So this is what Catherine wrote about spring. Spring is such an exciting time in the woodland. In the UK, the bird song already is increasing. The bluebells aren't up yet, but I know they won't be long, and the floor of the wood will be full of color and the air full of scent. The coats on the distant deer are changing from brown to red. If you visit the moor, you can hear the plaintive mewing of a buzzard. The nearby marsh is full of skylarks, where every few minutes one rises up and up until it's a mere speck in the sky, dancing and singing as it goes. An occasional tiny orange brush, that is a weasel, darts out of the bank and into the undergrowth. In England, the sea is always nearby. That is a roar and a power no man can ever drown out. And Catherine was especially referring to the men who come to the speaker's corner where Kelly J. Keen is giving the microphone to women to speak about pushing back and taking our natural rights as women. And there are often men there, as Catherine says, in ill-fitting dresses, who try to drown out the voices of women. And that is exactly what Nettie, my ex-husband, has tried to do to me, and I refuse. So all of you here, please take breaks from studying the WPATH files and learning about the medical malpractice of the so-called gender doctors, and go out in nature and see it this way. Catherine, I do have buzzards. I forget, we call them something else. Anyway, but I have been seeing red-tailed hawks, and it is just the way they glide in the sky, and you know, it is just all so miraculous. And I'm able to see the tufted titmice. I have those birds here, and the juncos will soon be migrating up to Canada. I every morning, one of my routines is to put bird seed out on the fence posts and on the flat rocks that I have in the front for those birds And once in a while I get a cardinal. And now I see the blue-gray of the tufted titmice and the red of the cardinal so much more clearly since I had that cataract surgery. And again, last night I was looking at the stars, the constellation Orion in the south, and in the north, the Big Dipper, which seems to hang vertically here from here at this time of the year. It was it's a wonderful world that we live in, and reconnecting mind and body is what these psychiatrically ill individuals need to do. Instead, they focus on the erasure of women and girls, and that's a mistake. I pointed out this mistake to a canvasser who came. I was working down by my street side and getting out the weeds and clearing up things so that these daffodils can really bloom freely. And he knew my name from the voter registration and etc. And I said, I no longer can support your candidate because your candidate thinks that men can declare that they are women, and we have to have our voices drowned out. And also, the governments of the UK, Norway, Denmark, Sweden, and Finland, five, have now decided no more giving puberty blockers and wrong sex hormones to children. It does not have good outcomes. He blinked and crossed the street. But I think when you list things, when you have a handy couple of sentences basically memorized, and you mention that we're not hearing about a tidal wave of suicides of these teens in these countries where they have changed their approach, then I believe that's going to vegetate, pun intended, in his mind. It's going to bubble around a little bit, and maybe he'll look it up. And then as he was crossing the street, I said, they're finding these girls on testosterone are getting liver cancer. Please stay in touch with nature. And thank you, Catherine, again.